So I have some squad on Instagram. I got a lot of squad on Instagram, but a few of them, Kitty and Sandy, and who else? It's another one too, Honey. They always send me Aquarius memes. So I've been accumulating them over time, and I thought it would be fun for us to read and respond to these. Most of them are extremely humorous, some are not. But I thought it would be fun for us to look at them today. I have a lot of them, so I'm going to do half of them today and half of them in tomorrow's video, or what would be, I guess that would be Monday's video by now. Anyway, so let's get started. Let's do our introduction, and then we can talk about these memes. Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Offset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody, anybody, everybody who might like it too, and don't forget to drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read out two of my favorite positive comments from previous videos, and one of them could be yours. I'm also going to respond to them. Likewise, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me. Underneath this video is my email address and everything you need to know to get a reading, to send a donation, if you want to get Ask an Aquarius merchandise, all of that is underneath this video. Likewise, gifts are my love language. So I always have my Amazon wish list underneath this video too. So without further ado, let's check out these memes. Now, the first one is not funny. The first one is kind of sad, actually. This one is Sign's biggest heartbreaker. So according to what they said about this one, this is a list of what sign is more likely to break your heart. Okay, so for Aquarius, it says the sign that is most likely to break your heart is Capricorn. And I definitely agree with this. I agree with this 100% because I get a lot of complaints from Aquarius about Capricorns. And I told you guys about me. I'm surrounded by Capricorns. And I definitely have had heartbreak with Capricorns, even if it wasn't a romantic relationship. Like my grandmother was a Capricorn and she passed over, and that just like devastated me. Now, mind you, it wasn't her fault that she passed over, but it still was a heartbreak. My mother is a Capricorn. If I had $1 for every time my mother broke or stabbed me in my heart, I'd have like $1 million, you know? So that is a very true statement. My ex-husband, oh my God, heartbreak. Oh my goodness. And you know, I've worked these things out over the years, but at the time that they happened, they were very heartbreaking. So it is common for this to occur. All right, let's go on to the next one. This one says, Aquarius try to see and understand both sides of the story. I definitely do this a lot, especially as I got older, because the older I've become, the more I've realized the effect that perception has on a situation. So sometimes people perceive things in a way that they weren't actually happening, or vice versa. So I do try to understand both sides of a story. When somebody is telling me something, or when two people are telling me something, I do try to hear both sides. Also, this is a very Libra kind of energy too. And I'm a third decan Aquarius, and third decan Aquarius are also in that Libra energy ruled by Venus. And my node is in Libra. So this is a very Libra thing, and I do see it mostly with them, but I do see it a lot with Aquarius. Number 3, one does not simply win an argument with an Aquarius. People say this about us all the time. They say that it's impossible to win an argument with an Aquarius. Now, I'll say two things about this. Younger Aquarius, or Aquarius who are less in control of themselves, are more likely to argue with people, especially an Aquarius with a big ego. Those kind of Aquarius will argue you down. When I was a young Aquarius, I was on the debate team. Okay, so arguing with me was an exercise in futility. So I will say that this does come up a lot for certain kinds of Aquarius. But as we get older, or those of us who evolve in different ways, we don't really argue. I can't remember the last argument I was in. After a while, it just becomes kind of irrelevant. So again, you still can't win an argument because I'm not even going to have it. I'm not even going to have it. You have to, it takes two to tango, so I'm going to walk away. So you're still not going to win the argument because you're not getting the argument. So it is difficult to win an argument with an Aquarius, even if you're right. Because some Aquarius, even if you are right, they still do not hear you. So you never really win. They're never really going to say, okay, you win, you know? And like I said, sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes the Aquarius is dead wrong and they're sticking to their position, you know? Very stubborn kind of energy. So to me, it's just pointless to argue with an Aquarius. Either you're not going to win, they're not going to engage, or they're not listening anyway. You would not believe how many people try to argue with me and I completely ignore them. Sometimes people send me messages and they're mad at me about something I've done, and I'm just like, anyway, and I just kind of move on. Like most of the time I don't even read it, to be honest with you. When I see the first sentence goes awry, I detract my eyes to the left and then I delete it. So it's like, you're still not going to win the argument because I'm just not going to engage in it. I got too big things to do than be arguing with strangers on the internet. Ciao, bye. Next one. Fun fact. Aquarius are the only ones who can say they don't give a fuck and mean it. Yeah. Yeah. We don't give a fuck about what we don't give a fuck about. But we give a F a lot about things that we do care about. That's the thing about Aquarius. And a lot of times what we care about, other people don't care about. And what other people care about, we don't care about. So we get into a lot of trouble with that. Because we don't care about most of the things that people are up in arms about. People are up in arms about a lot of stupid stuff. If you just look online, you can see it. People are arguing about the dumbest stuff. I told you guys about the time I saw two people get into an argument about hot dogs. Okay? I've seen people argue about the dumbest things, you know? And most of the time, there are things I just don't care about. So I don't even bother to pay attention to it, you know? And this does get Aquarius in trouble a lot because let's say it's your lover, or it's your husband, or it's your mom, and they're caring about something that you could give no fucks about. People get upset about that. And the Aquarius isn't always good at telling them that we don't give a good. We're not always good at saying that we don't care without them getting upset. And the things that we do care very much about, like our causes or our kids, or things like that, our babies, our art, our professions, whatever we do care about, oh, you better not touch that. Leave the Aquarius alone about things that they care about. If they care about something, don't bother it. I remember I told you guys this story before. I had met this woman and I was talking about spirituality. We were both talking about spirituality. And she starts to go in about what she does and does not believe in. Now, mind you, I don't really care what she believes in. And at the end of the day, it's her life. But she starts going in about it. And I just stopped talking to her. I just stopped. I just was like, all right, well, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go call, or I'm going to go do, or I said something and got off the phone. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, girl. Bye. I don't even know you. Aquarius energy be like, I'm nice, but I'm an asshole. But my heart big as fuck. But I really don't give a fuck. But I care sometimes. But fuck everybody, if that makes sense. I like this one so much. And the reason why I like it is because it is very Aquarius. A lot of us are very nice, but at the same time, can have our ways, because I know me, I got jokes, so people don't always like my jokes. So that is one thing. We do have big hearts. I told you guys about our causes and the things that we care about and the things of people that we protect. But at the same time, a lot of stuff that other people care about, we don't care about. That gets us in trouble. But sometimes we do. Sometimes it is something that we care about. I got into a huge argument with one of my exes before about the house. She wanted to paint. I didn't care. I didn't care what she painted. I didn't care what colors she picked. I just didn't care. And we got into a huge argument about it because I didn't care about what colors she wanted to paint the living room. And it became a really big thing. So it was like, I finally just feigned like I cared and picked the color. But F everybody. We do have a tendency to be on our lone wolf. So this is like, everybody can go over there, if that makes sense. And it doesn't. It does to us, but it doesn't to other people because we go back and forth. Everything is based on how we feel about something. And that can change. February Aquarius are better than January Aquarius. I'm a February Aquarius, and I don't think we're better than January Aquarius. I don't think either Aquarius is better than the other one. I often hear this argument with sun signs, like one, because they're always one in one month and one in the other month. So like, for instance, the September Libras saying they're better than the October Libras. I've heard that a lot. Or the October Scorpios will swear they're better than the November Scorpios. And I'm like, there's really more similarities than not in these two groups. You do have some differences. And I once did a video about the difference between February and January Aquarius. So it is some differences, but I would say we're pretty much more similar than anything else. So I definitely would not agree with that. I think we're all pretty cool, Everybody wants their team to be the best, And I see people in the Aquarius group arguing about this, arguing about which group of Aquarius is better. And I never really get into it because, like I said, to me, it's silly. I think it's really silly. I'm like, nah. The last one says, Aquarians are naturally reserved, private people. Yeah, I don't know if you would call me reserved. I can be kind of eccentric at times, but private, definitely. I tell what I want to tell to who I want to tell it to when I want to tell it. I'm very open at this point in my life. I talk to you guys. I tell you things about my history and my thoughts and my feelings that I never would have shared with people 10 years ago. Like, no way. But still, I don't tell everything. There's some things that are just mine, and those I keep close to me. But it's not like it used to be. I used to be a lot more mysterious. I think the mystery is over now. Aquarians aren't inclined to open up, and letting people in is absolutely not in their nature. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And in romantic relationships, especially, I've been with people who didn't know me at all. Like, they didn't know me at all. Not by any fault. Well, sometimes by both of our fault, but it depended on the situation. But I've been with people, that I did not reveal myself to because I didn't trust them. I didn't trust them to let them in. And that's the thing about Aquarius. We only let you in as far as we trust you. It can be really difficult to read an Aquarius, which keeps a distance between them and most people. A lot of people say that many Aquarius are hard to read because many of us show no emotion at all. Regardless of what's going on inside of us, many of us are skilled at not showing the emotion. So you might not be able to read us because you might be looking for clues in our face and in our voice and in our body language about how we feel about something. And you might get stoned, just a stone wall. I've heard that from a lot of people. So they didn't know quite how the Aquarius felt because the Aquarius was not letting them in. They weren't showing any emotion. They didn't know what was going on. So That is a very true statement. Aquarius doesn't really want to be read. like we really don't. We want to share what we want to share when we want to share it, and that's it. We don't really want to be read. Who wants to be read? Unless we ask for that, of course, because there are times when we do, especially with somebody that we're close to. But in most situations, no. An Aquarius needs someone who can really trust. Yeah, who they can really trust. Exactly. And feel comfortable being vulnerable around in order to go all in and fall in love. This is 100% correct. We have to trust the person. We have to know that we can be vulnerable. We have to know. See, my thing about being with another person, if I was ever going to commit to another person, which may or may not ever happen again, my biggest thing is before I would even be open to it, I would have to trust them. I would have to know they had my back. I would have to have a very deep connection with them. And to be honest with you, I really have not come across this kind of person before. I've come across people that had this or that, but never the whole package, So that is a very true statement, because vulnerability for an Aquarius is a serious thing. It's not a game, We're not really cool with getting vulnerable, period. So for us to do it, we have to feel comfortable and we have to really trust that person. And there's no other level of vulnerability that I can think of other than falling in love with somebody. You know how vulnerable you have to be to fall in love, to let them in? I mean, it's a choice. You have to choose to let them into your world. And for an Aquarius, like they said here, that's correct. It does take a lot. All right, so now we're going to read 2 positive comments and I'm going to respond to them. Loop, it's either Loop or Lupe Yoli, says, nice positive message in these trying times. This is a wonderful coping mechanism, life lesson to share with people. Thank you so much. I was talking about climbing one step every day. I have a video about that, and that's what Luke was talking about. Misty Miller, hey Misty. Misty said, first decan Aquarius, born January 23rd. Something strange is my grandfather is the exact same as me. I'm pure. They call the first decan Aquarius pure Aquarius because they're the first of us. Then comes the second, then comes the third. So they call them pure Aquarius. Now, this doesn't mean they're better or more Aquarius or whatever the case is. It means they are the first ones. They are the first ones that go into the degree of Aquarius. And she said her grandfather is also the same as you. Misty, I would be interested to know, are you and your grandfather's personalities similar, or just your birthday information? I would love to know that. All right, guys, come back soon because I'm going to do the other half of these memes, and I got a lot more to say. See you later.